One of the questions we get asked loads at electrifying.com is, can you recommend a really good British-built EV? And unless you can afford a Rolls-Royce Spectre or you fancy an electric van, we've been a bit short on suggestions recently. But that is about to change. Say hello to the all-new Sunderland-built Nissan Leaf. Now, it's hard to underestimate how important this car is for the future of Nissan. And in this video, I'm going to have a good look at it, tell you everything we know about it so far. Range, charging, batteries, how much it can fit in the boot. And we will also be getting a first drive. Yes, really. So do stay with us, and while you're there, please subscribe. So here it is. And the first Leaf, well, that was a groundbreaking car, wasn't it? It was the first mainstream electric car. Given that, you would expect Nissan to be leaders in the EV world today, only they're not. It dropped the ball and is now playing catch up with loads of other brands, but it's hoping that this car, the all-new, and as you can see, really different 2026 version, will help us fall for the Leaf all over again. Now, we've already seen the Nissan Micra, which is basically a mashup of the Renault 5. This, however, has been done really differently, thankfully. And while it might share its platform with the likes of the Renault Megane and the Nissan Ariya, this is really where the similarities stop. It's very much a Nissan designed and engineered car. And you know what? It really does need to be good, because the Leaf is up against some tough competition. Cars like the VW ID3, the Kia EV3, Skoda Elroq, along with, of course, the Renaults like the Megane and the Scenic. So let's have a look at it. But before we do, you might be a huge fan of the old Leaf, and why not? Because it's a very good car. Did you know we have loads of them for sale over on our used car listings at electrifying.com? You can see them by scanning the QR code on the screen. So if you're watching on your smart TV or your tablet, you can watch and scroll all at the same time to find yourself a used bargain. So the Leaf has been designed in Japan, and you know, I think it shows. It looks quite modern and retro all at the same time, and refreshingly, it is not an SUV. So the design team told me that the 90s, an era I adore, has had a big influence on them, and I do think it has 90s vibes. Think Honda CRX or Nissan 300ZX. And that low, sporty look isn't just for show. This car was literally designed in the wind tunnel, and it hits a class-leading drag coefficient of 0.25, thanks to loads of smart tech like a liquid-cooled battery and a thermal management system that reuses heat to boost efficiency. I do really like how it looks. I mean, looks nothing like the previous Leaf, does it? I love the flush door handles here at the back, a bit Renault 5. I like the pop-out handles here on the front doors. Reminds me a bit of check out I-Pace, nice. Love the flowing roof line, and then round here, this kind of boomerang-shaped light bar. I think it just gives it a really nice striking look. And can we take a moment, please, to appreciate this colour, this glorious shade of teal. It's one of 7 different colours, and I love the fact that we're getting brighter colours on cars these days. Wheels, you get a choice of 18 or 19 inch, depending on the spec. Now, after seeing the Micra / Renault 5, I was a little wary of how the Leaf would look. But as I said, it has really won me over. One of my favourite angles is at the back, so come and take a look at that. Look, what do you think? I like it. I like the little flip here, great for aero, of course. Do you know what? It's kind of giving me Toyota Prius vibes a bit at the back. Am I imagining that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But I do think it's a really striking car, and I think what sets it off beautifully are the rear lights. So if you look, you've got a 2 and a 3, and there is a reason for that. 2 and 3 features a lot across the car, this particular icon design. That is because the Japanese word for 2 is ni, and the Japanese word for 3 is san. Nissan. Apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly to all of our Japanese viewers. And yeah, you can find it dotted around the car. Actually, I think there's one in here. Boot. You get an electric tailgate on, I think, the top 2 specs, but we might need to check that. So the boot, nice wide opening. It's a pretty decent size, 437 litres. So it's larger than an ID3 and of course Volvo EX30, which has a tiny boot. About on a par with the Renault Megane. It can't quite get though to the cavernous boot of the Kia EV3. But again, it is a decent size and it's a triple decker boot. So what it lacks in depth, no, in width, in depth? What am I trying to say here? This bit, it gains in layers, triple decker. So you've got this floor here that lifts up. Then under here, you've got another subfloor, which is really handy for keeping your charging cables in. You're gonna get a buggy in there, no problems. Couldn't tell you about a set of golf clubs because I don't play golf. And I doubt if many people who are in the market for this car are worried about that. They're worried about buggies. And you get powered tailgate on, I think it's the top 2 specs in the UK. Okay, so come and explore the interior for the first time with me. It is the first time I'm sat in it. So what have we got? Steering wheel I like. 2 spokes, looks quite retro, doesn't it? Quite cool. I also really love the fact that I can see loads of physical controls on the steering wheel as well. And physical buttons, they feature in here quite a lot, so a big thumbs up for me for that. So you've got a couple down here on this little section, one for the e-pedal, which of course is Nissan's one pedal driving. You've also got another button here which controls your different driving modes. And I like the way they're housed in that kind of little boomerang shape where you also get your gear selector. Paddles here on the steering wheel for the brake regeneration. Now there are 4 different levels of brake regeneration, and once again it's something that Nissan does really well in its cars, don't they? What else to report? Oh yeah, haptic buttons just here underneath the screen for heated seats and all your climate control. Again, I just love the fact there are buttons. Oh look, old school volume control, love it.
This video is brought to you with Andersen EV, the UK's most awarded home charge point brand of 2024, offering over 200 colour and finish options, a market-leading 7-year warranty and a unique hidden tethered cable.
You can also select a shortcut button, which is down here I think, along with the button for the heated steering wheel. This sets up your driver assistance to the way you want, so you might want speed limit warning but not lane keep assist. You can set it up and then you can access the shortcut there. 2 presses activates the setting that you want, and I think that's great. So the operating system has got Google built in. It's got dual 14.3 inch screens. Google voice control generally works really well. I haven't had a chance to play around with it. I've got about 2 minutes to sit in here, but given our experience of it in other cars in the group, I would say that it should be a slick system. It does feel lighter in here than I thought it was going to, probably because we've got lighter seats along with these lighter fabric accents, which feel really nice. I suspect if you went for the darker interiors, it might feel a bit oppressive. There's one really smart thing that I like a lot. There's a speaker in the headrest, in the driver's headrest, which announces nav instructions just for the driver. Other people can't hear it, your passengers aren't bothered by it, and it just lets the driver know, what you need to be prepared for, only on higher spec cars, of course. And higher spec cars also get massaging seats, which I think really shows that Nissan are trying to position this car as something that is more premium and upmarket than the outgoing Leaf. Oh yeah, I like the piping. It's quite cool, quite sort of furniture-like, isn't it? And I like the fact that you can see some boomerang shapes in here, just here in the control panel, along here on the front of the fascia, and it reflects that boomerang shape, the lights at the front, doesn't it? Other than that, bit of storage in here, wireless charging, very good sized door bins, and massive cup holders along with a little tray. There's my phone. Stick my phone in that little tray. Put the cup holders, massive cup holders. What more do you need? I'm sold.
The app seems pretty well thought together too, although we haven't had a chance to play around with it, but it has cool features like the ability to not just preheat your interior, but also the heated seats and the steering wheel.
When it comes to power, you get a choice of 2 batteries. 52 kilowatt hour option with a claimed range of 271 miles and a larger 75 kilowatt hour version with 375 miles of range. Now, this puts it right into Kia EV3 territory, which currently offers the most range in the segment. Vehicle to load and vehicle to grid are standard across the range, which I think is a really good thing. So vehicle to load basically lets you use your EV like a giant power bank. Vehicle to grid is in its early stages, but we are going to be hearing more and more about it over the coming months and years. This enables your EV to send power back to the grid. It becomes like a mini power station on wheels to help balance energy supplies. And it can do really smart stuff like save money on your energy bills by downloading power at times when the energy is at its lowest cost and then sending it back to the grid at peak times. It's really, really smart stuff. Charging speeds, also quite interesting. Charging speed of up to 150 kilowatts, nothing unusual there. But Nissan is saying it will add 259 miles in 30 minutes. And I think it's very interesting they're talking about miles added in a specific time rather than focusing on percentages. It makes a lot more sense. To ensure that the Leaf is as efficient as possible, you get a liquid-cooled battery, a sophisticated thermal management system which reuses heat from the battery. Motor-wise, front-wheel drive with a single motor, although I strongly suspect we will see a dual motor down the line at some point. Given we know all this, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a feel for what the Leaf drives like? As I said at the top, we do. Over to Vicky, who's been putting an early car through its paces at Millbrook Proving Ground in the English countryside.
Thanks, Ginny. Here's one that they made earlier. I've always wanted to say that. I'm so excited. Enough of my aspirations to present Blue Peter. I'm in the Nissan Leaf. It's a prototype. I'm driving it around the handling circuit. We've got a cheeky early look thanks to a European Car of the Year event that Nissan is holding. This car is so important. What's it like to drive? Do you know what? It drives really nicely. I'm really quite impressed. And we're talking 0 to 62 in 7.6 seconds. What I really like about the Leaf is that it's really adjustable. So not only has it got 4 different brake regen modes, which you toggle through with the paddles on the steering wheel, so it's really easy to access. You can use it almost like downshifting in a gearbox. This is the joy of having regen on the paddles, like Hyundai and Kia have had for a while. Plus Nissan has got its E-pedal, which is a 1-pedal drive mode, and it's all really quite well integrated to it. Bleeds in really nice and smoothly. It's quite intuitive and easy to get used to. Steers really smoothly. It's got quite a nice kind of oily build of steering weight. It's not terribly kind of dialed in. It's not a car that feels like you want to drive it in a sporty fashion, but you can stick it in sport mode. Like I said, with this physical button down here, you can toggle through the modes, stick it into sport, and it really weights the steering up. You really notice the difference. So it suddenly gets much heavier, and you can really feel that kind of change in weight. And the car turns in really keenly, actually. So you can really get quite a lot of you can really chuck it through the corners. It's quite fun. It's all right. It's front-wheel drive, this car, and Nissan hasn't got any plans to make a four-wheel drive one for now. But because this is the same platform as the Aria, there is the potential to do that if Nissan thinks that it's kind of sees fit. It's quiet, it's calm, and it's comfortable. And I think that's what you're going to want from a Nissan Leaf, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. It's really good. Well done, Nissan. And on that note, Ginny, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Vicky. As you can see, we get early access to all the great EVs here at Electrifying. And this is the only video where you can see a full deep dive of the car and driving impressions together. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for more electric exclusives. Right then, let's see how the passengers are looked after here in the back. So the seat in front is set for the driving position of Tobias behind the camera, who is 6 foot. For context, I am 5'4", and I mean, I'm fine, aren't I? There's loads of leg room, and you could definitely get taller adults in here quite comfortably. More importantly, I think you could also get a rear-facing child seat in here as well, and they do take up loads of space. You've got 2 ISOFIX points, both on the outside seats. There isn't a third one in the front, seeing that more and more on cars now, and I do think that's really useful for bigger families. The sunroof is absolutely lovely, particularly because it's got this lovely leaf sort of engraved, embossed into it that I imagine will cast like a bit of a shadow in the back on a sunny day. Sunroof is available only on the top 2 spec cars. Other than that, yeah, its headroom isn't the best in here. I'm not sure how Mike, our human ruler on the electrifying team, would go on, but I do like the fact that because this, of course, is a bespoke electric car, you've got the nice flat floor. I like the wide bench seat. Overall, I think it's pretty good in here. Production of the Leaf will start in autumn with deliveries to customers at the beginning of 2026. All right then, should we talk about pricing? Good old inflation has been at it again. Although, in the case of this, it's not a case of shrinkflation, because I think it's bigger and it feels much more of a premium car. Pricing is a bit punchier. We expect it to start at around £34,000 in line with the competition, heading to well over 40 for the bigger battery, higher spec models. Look, we need to drive it properly, but I do think I might finally have found an EV that won't break the bank, that is built right here in the UK. So have I fallen for the Leaf? You know what? I just might have. How about you? Let us know what you think of the 2026 Nissan Leaf in the comments below. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe and switch your notifications on, because if you love electric cars, this is the channel for you.